Delarite, my MVVs, welcome.
Delarite, there's nothing in this world that is as good as having a daughter that knows her word. God is going to bless, each and every one of you raising a girl child today. Your labor will not go in vain. And, your children will grow up and make you proud and, leave a legacy for you. You see, the thing is that Ooni of Ife is a very big king. So when I say this here, a lot of people say, Del, Ooni of Ife is not God. I have never said that Ooni of Ife is God. Okay? I have only told you he is indeed a big king. He is an African king that is so well respected everywhere in the world. Okay? And so, because he has been chosen right here on earth, even in heaven, God recognizes the fact that he is the Ooni of Ife. Because without God, nobody will make him the Ooni of Ife. Forget all these things. His tradition, his culture is respected, but I believe that there is only God that can make things happen in this world. Now, you see, Ooni of Ife, the kind of sacrifices this man is making just to bring Queen Naomi back into his life. Who the hell do you think Ooni of Ife will make all of these sacrifices for? Who? Nobody. Nobody. When a woman recognizes her word, a man will go all out for that woman. Recently, we saw what happened with Iyabo Ojo's daughter. People said it was too much. It was too much. It's because that lady, that little girl, knows her word. They say palace elders landed in Queen Naomi's family's house. Ooni of Ife sent delegation bearing sacred beads and Aṣọ Ẹbọ to Queen Naomi. Aṣọ Ẹbọ is spelled A-S-O, then E-B-O. I do know that. A lot of you know what this is, okay? They say, it was, some of the things, the requirement that they have also, that these people, as much as, they are doing what they are supposed to do, one can tell that they have dragged the process to a point where they thought that it would be frustrating for the Ooni of Ife. Ooni of Ife is showing them that he is king and he wants his wife and he's going to get his wife. They say it was at dawn, just before the first cock crow, when the elders of Ile-Ife Palace arrived quietly at Queen Naomi's family compound. They didn't come with drums or fanfare. They came in the ancient way. Okay, sorry. That they went there in the ancient way with sacred items and spiritual intent. The moment was heavy with meaning, as the Ooni of Ife had sent them on a most delicate and powerful mission of reconciliation. In their hands were two significant objects, sacred beads and Aṣọ Ẹbọ, the cloth of sacrifice and peace. Okay? They said this gesture is more than tradition. It is a deeply spiritual practice rooted in Yoruba royalty and spiritual code. When a king sends Aṣọ Ẹbọ to a woman he desires to reconcile with, especially one who once held a divine position beside him, it is the highest form of acknowledgement and repentance. It is not a cloth worn for fashion. It is a cloth that carries meaning, energy, and divine alignment. Those of you who were dragging Naomi like I passed your neighbor generator in December, where are you now? I never see anybody they talk. I have not seen anyone. Are you guys seeing? Because this is a time where we get to understand that there is nothing that is impossible before God. The truth remains that, like I used to tell you people, if it's God's desire for Queen Naomi to remain with her husband, that's the Ooni of Ife. There's nothing anybody can do about it. Nothing anybody can do about it. And when it is time for Queen Naomi to be reunited with the Ooni of Ife, things will go so well that you will even think there is a problem. Look at the way things have been going lately. There's been a lot of confusion, but it is not making no impact. Like, it's zero impact, no impact whatsoever. Queen Naomi is winning by the day. The there are obstacles. Ooni of Ife and Queen Naomi are surmounting all the obstacles, removing roadblocks. Ooni is so focused right now. This will be the first time ever. You and I, you agree with me that they say Kabiyesi should stay away from his Oloris, and he is actually staying away from them. He's not going out with them. He does not want any wahala whatsoever, except it is really, really necessary. It is really, really necessary, except it is really, really necessary. Because he wants this process to be successful, like from the beginning to the end. And Kabiyesi is doing so well, and may God bless you, Baba. God is showing us that no matter what we say, no matter the noise we make on social media, everything is in the hand of God. It's what God says He wants that is going to happen. Nobody can do anything. Nobody can do anything to stop what God wants. They said the Aṣọ Ẹbọ literally means sacrifice cloth. It is specially selected and spiritually fortified. It is usually white or ivory, okay, symbolizing purity, peace, and a return to innocence. Sometimes, depending on the specific oracle direction, it might be, patterned with ancestral symbols or dyed with, herbs like Igbo, Osun, or Oluko, which each carry unique spiritual significance. In this case, the Aṣọ Ẹbọ sent to Queen Naomi was pure white, hand-woven by traditional Yoruba weavers in Iseyin, and soaked overnight in sacred rivers where spiritual cleansing had taken place. It was then taken to the shrine of Obatala, the Orisha of purity, patience and clarity, where it was blessed and declared clean for the ritual of return. Now, before you go out again and begin to lecture me on why Queen Naomi is doing the wrong thing, why Queen Naomi should not be following Kabiyesi and all of that. See, it's important to understand that Africa, we have a lot of different religions. People believe in what they believe in. You cannot stop them. Queen Naomi knew that Ooni of Ife was a traditionalist before she married Ooni of Ife. And I do believe that Queen Naomi, made that selection with her open eye. And I believe that she loves her husband. If Ooni of Ife chooses she wants to be a traditionalist, not for us to judge. People have the right to choose whatever they want to choose, okay? And so, don't begin to judge Olori Naomi because he married the Ooni of Ife. Ooni of Ife has his own belief system. If he's going to the shrine of Obatala, he's going to Osun shrine and all of that, is his belief system. What Ooni of Ife is doing is like, when we go to our own prayer altar and we are asked to do this, use olive oil and all of that. These are people's belief system. You may not necessarily, believe in what they believe in. You want to respect their belief system. So let me not digress, okay? Now, they say that the cloth was, folded carefully and placed inside a calabash lined with, camwood and cowries, again accompanied by strands of royal beads. Ileke Ali Allah, that is what, symbolic of Queen Naomi's former and future role as the spiritual mother of the palace. The beads are not just ornament, they are identity. In Yoruba kinship, the moment a woman is adorned with certain beads by the king's representative, she's being publicly recognized as one with a spiritual covenant. Now, why is Aṣọ Ẹbọ so crucial in this reconciliation as we are hearing? If that information is true, they say because in Yoruba cosmology, a broken bond between spiritually matched partners creates imbalance, not just emotional but metaphysical. Queen Naomi's departure from the palace created not just a vacuum of presence, but a gap in the spiritual structure of the royal household. Her return must not be a simple walk-in, it must be presided by cleansing, reaffirmation, and spiritual appeasement. And this is why let's say, you want to marry the Ooni of Ife, you need to be, you need to know that it's not a tea party affair. Not be being so, hey, they're right. They say Aṣọ Ẹbọ is the physical object that represents this appeasement. It says we recognize your wrongs, we offer peace, we desire restoration. Without it, the woman cannot return into her former role without spiritual consequences. If she enters without receiving and wearing her Aṣọ Ẹbọ, the spiritual forces around the palace will reject her presence and the union will not find peace. They will continue to fight and fight and fight. Now, before you begin to ask, why are they doing all of this? You need to know that Kabiyesi is a monarch. Queen Naomi to herself, she is not small. They want them to come and stay together forever now. They are cleansing, getting rid of everything. Okay. They say traditionally, once the Aṣọ Ẹbọ is accepted by the woman, she will not wear it immediately. First, it laid on her personal altar. If she is a prophetess or priestess, as Queen Naomi is, it is spread out before her Ori in her head and prayed upon. Incense is burned, and the gods are asked whether she should wear it and accept the reconciliation. If the answer is yes, she wraps it around her and steps out of her chamber, marking the beginning of her journey back to her destiny. It is not a small something, no. Daily rights, my daily rights, my daily rights, my own people. Daily rights, my daily rights, my daily rights, my super people. Now, for the palace elders to bring it on, the Ooni's behalf is a serious spiritual move. It is the king saying, I am ready, not just to take you back, but to repair the path we once walked, okay? It means all obligation, both traditional and, spiritual, will be met. It means he has consulted the oracle, listened to the gods, and is now acting in alignment. The delegation was made up of 7 elders, 4 men and 3 women. This balance was deliberate. In Yoruba culture, spiritual negotiations between husband and wife must be handled by a gender balance team. The men speak on behalf of the king, the women speak for the heart of the queen. It's not a small something. Among them was the Yalodo, the highest ranking woman of the palace, herself a custodian of women's role in the kingdom. She carried the message of the Ooni directly into the inner room where Queen Naomi's mother received her. This is sweeting me too much. You know that at Delaram, I don't joke. I get the sweet, like, from the source, okay? When you hear of, people telling you things, that, in fact, I don't even need to say it because you know the difference, okay? They said, as a sad in, with respect, the eldest among the men spoke. He offered greetings to the ancestors of the house, poured libation and, libation, and, declared the reason for their coming, not for gossip, not for pressure, but for destiny. He acknowledged the pain of the past and the depth of Queen Naomi's significance in the life of the Ooni of Ife and kingdom. He then presented the bead and the Aṣọ Ẹbọ. Hey, they said tears were said to have flowed freely, not just from the women, but from some of the men as well. Everyone present understood what this meant. This was not just about 2 people reconciling. This is about restoring spiritual order. This is about closing the gap that had allowed unrest in the palace. This is about the ancestors breathing a sign of relief. It said it is, in fact, if I want to go, I will go on and on and on, and then this video will be so long, but let's leave this one here. It is not a small something that has happened, but God has been faithful to our baby girl, Olori, beautiful Queen Naomi. I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.